is John with Brainstorm Comics and Gaming, and I'm here this week with Tamba. Last time we gave our review of Future State Batman.
Yes.
And we are here with the sequel this time, Second Son. Just to give a recap, Future State Batman, Jace Fox has taken over the role of the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce is gone. It seems like his whole Bat family is
Disappeared somewhat.
Mm-hmm. And now they've gone back and they're filling in the gaps leading up to the ongoing series, I Am Batman.
Yes.
So this is the bridge between Future State Batman and I Am Batman.
I Am Batman, yes.
Again, written by John Ridley. You guys got me saying.
Got it in your head, Ridley Scott, yes.
John Ridley. So we'll start with our general impressions. I'll let you go first, sir.
No, it was compelling. I like what they introduced to it. I like the overall scope of why he's doing what he's doing, or why he's compelled to fight crime.
Did you like it more or less than the first one that we read?
Less.
Less?
Yes, but for different reasons. For what they introduced and what they give me, it was mostly about him and his ideology, or at least what makes him tick. It was his, drop of the necklace scene, basically, is what
his inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
So to give a little bit of clarification, so in the first one we were dropped in the middle of things. We didn't know why this guy was Batman. We didn't know where he came from. We didn't know like all these things about him. This kind of fills in those gaps as to how he got the mantle. Also, like you said, his motivation for doing what he does. I like this one more than the first one, and a lot more than the first one.
Really?
A lot more.
Okay.
I feel like the motivation. So to me, that they definitely drew a stark difference between him and Bruce.
Okay.
Let's talk about some of this stuff.
Okay.
One of the things that is clear in this one is Jace is not fond of the rich.
No, not even remotely.
No.
Oh no. In fact, he hates the rich as far as what it entails and what they can become with that type of money.
Because the person he's even chasing is a rich person who is apparently abusing his wealth.
His wealth or his privilege. It seems to be the ongoing theme, at least as to why he hates that person. But other than that factor, they don't really get into why he's a terrible person, at least why Jace needs to stop him. But it just, overall, the reason why I didn't enjoy it as much as the first one is this one felt reminiscent of another Batman property that I came across in my youth, Batman Beyond. That's why. The fact of, I'm not sure if are you aware of the whole idea with Batman Beyond and how Terry comes to be the new Batman?
Yep.
I felt it was very similar to what Jace was becoming, because based upon his childhood, he makes mistakes, and as a result of it, he tries to be better from those mistakes as a result of what he went through.
Now, see, I'm going to say I disagree with this for a couple reasons.
Okay.
Number one is when he finds the bat suit.
Yes.
He immediately does not put two and two together. He's like, "Oh, my dad and Bruce are using Batman to enforce the rich people's law on people instead of helping the poor."
Yes.
He's like, "Oh, Batman's a tool of the rich."
Of the rich, yes.
And I like that because it kind of ties into Sean Murphy's.
It definitely ties into Sean Murphy's idea of what he thinks Batman is. I think it comes on the heels of it. I think we wouldn't have got that without. Was it White Knight?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say Watchmen. The whole idea of covering your body to ensure that no one knows your ethnicity when you're out there fighting crime, which blends into it well. But I still get those Batman Beyond vibes from this. Just because when he's trying to defeat or come to terms with that rich guy that he's trying to take down, there's somebody in his ear, similar to Bruce's dynamic with.
I want to know who this person is. Like, we want
to. I agree.
I think we're going to be shocked who it is at some point in the future.
You think it's a Batman character?
I don't know. I think it's somebody we may have seen before.
I thought it was somebody from his school. That's what I'm alluding to. I would like to. I'd argue say it might be the Muslim girl at his school, or maybe even his teacher that taught him how to fight.
Okay.
But overall, I still get those Batman Beyond vibes.
I got you.
And that's why I didn't like it as much, because I was able to identify it with material that I've already seen.
I'm not saying that it doesn't evoke some of that, but I'm saying it's not like a. Like paste over. Like
definitely not a paste over. There's more reasoning. It's just not, I want to be better. No, but at the same token, with that in it, I'm sort of taken aback because he's still not taking out lower level people.
Okay.
And that's what pulls me out of it. Like not like his brother is, in which he is overwhelmed by that.
So that's what. So Batman chased all these low level guys, and he seems to be like, oh, the rich are where the problem starts. So that's what.
Oh no, that's what makes it better. The fact that he's going at the root of the problem instead of
because the first page even
result of the
starts with like, talking about the 1% and how like, oh, everybody thinks the 1% is great, and like, oh, but you don't know how it leads you down this bad path to.
But to me, he comes off more as a hypocrite because it's not like he's.
Oh, he is using his will.
Yeah, yeah, immensely so. Especially with his family
And
the
his
fact
contacts.
That, yes, and I was weirded out by the appearances of certain characters in it because he still has his privileged connections. Like when the grifter comes in, how are you not that secret still? It certain elements took me out of it, and then the whole thing with Katana. I still feel that he's not as clever as he thinks he is, even though he's not one man. It's the guy behind the mask that I'm still curious about.
Well, I will say he did go after one level guy, the rat catcher, because when he started taking like the children.
Oh, you mean Batwing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, he did, but he just felt overwhelmed, like he needed a Robin or something. It just felt. I guess maybe that's the shortcomings of Batman himself, the fact of who he went after, as opposed to going after the top level people, which makes me question Sean Murphy's take on it, which maybe he was right as far as how Bruce always failed Gotham in that respect.
So how do you feel about the police? We've gone even further down that rabbit hole of how the police are reacting to.
I enjoy the dichotomy of not everyone's on board with no masks, and again, I don't like how they hate him at the same time. But I get it because not everything Bruce did was good and in favor of the police. It's not like he consulted them. So them having different views as to how to treat masks at this venture makes sense, and it likes how that it adds an element of he doesn't know who he can trust. You don't know if they're going to be helping him or trying to take him down at the same time. And I like the internal struggle with that one detective, the woman with the blonde hair. Yeah. I love how in some scenes she's for him or other scenes she's against him. It depends on the context of how she's dealing with it.
Yeah, the one guy who also was formerly against like Batman and now is like, maybe we need the mask more.
Because
I think he might end up being the guy who helps people commit the one crime as long as they can prove that it's.
You think we've already seen that guy as well?
Yeah, I think he's going to come back to that. I think he's laying a lot of groundwork for like a larger narrative. I think I've told you before. It makes me sad that people are not trying this book. Although I can't say much because I didn't try it until a year after it came out. The future state thing did not sound like it was going to tie into the bigger universe at first. And
I don't blame you on that because I don't think DC's pushing this enough.
Yeah.
DC has other projects involve Batman, and you'll see damn near commercials on YouTube, damn near that pushes these. But for some reason or another, given the writer on these projects is famous in its own right, they're not pushing it as something that you need to be reading or. But at the same token, I'm glad they're not pushing it into big events, crossover events, forcing the character into other continuity. Because I think they're giving it time to evolve and develop, which is great for a change, as opposed to what they're doing with Nightwing or what they're doing with Catwoman or any other the bad people.
So we also find out why he is doing what he's doing,
which is messed up.
Yeah. So unlike other people where they lose somebody, like he directly. He directly killed somebody.
He Laura Bush somebody.
Yeah.
The term, but yeah.
He feels obvious guilt about everything that's going on.
Yes.
And I think it's not so much even that he just killed the person. It's the lifestyle that he was living leading up to that.
Oh, he didn't give a damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, that's why he's turned against, like, if you just live in this life of luxury, you start getting warped and you start going down this pathway that will taint you into being a bad person.
Yeah. No, I to me they had a good. John really did a good job to show that with that much privilege you can become a monster.
Yeah.
And it would lead you to a path of self-destruction. So I'm all aboard that. But at the same token,
and his parents punished him by sending him away. They're like, get like.
Is that a punishment or they just hit him?
Well, I think
it's a punishment.
I think they punished. I think they were like, we're not talking about you anymore. You're off to the cornfields, sort of.
Yeah. Which it says a lot about them because they made that decision like in a second, and it wasn't even.
And he was only like 17 or 18.
Yeah, well, then he just had his 17th birthday.
Okay.
Yeah, but the fact that they're not on the page with everything. But
the way he was treating women, also.
Oh, he was a degenerate, man.
Oh yeah,
big time. He was trash.
Yeah. And the one, so that was a good moment, I thought, when the one girl was like, "I don't care who you are." Like,
Yes, it totally didn't care what he said at that point. She's like, "Is that you?" And when it comes to that decision, that was a nice turn, which his privilege didn't even get her. She didn't even pay attention to it, as of course. But which was even more disgusting is the phone call he made on the road to his backup, so to speak.
Yeah.
And also on top of that, he ditched his birthday party. He was
no, that's what I say. He was a terrible person,
Yes.
and so this was a wake up call for him. And he has a chance at redemption. Like he has to do a deposition on.
the events that happened in his past.
Yes.
And instead of hiding it,
And his mom comes to him and is like, "This is what you're gonna say," and his response was,
I forgot what was his response.
"I'll do what I want to do." Like,
But it was just weird. But I didn't buy that because it's not like it empowered the family at all. He didn't tell enough of his truth in order to make. To me, oh my God, he should go to jail.
well, she cut him off
Oh, big time. Yeah, no, you're right. Because she was to be in the beginning. He started out being vague,
because she was like, that's all you need.
but she tied it up at the end, didn't she? I mean, it was going to go a certain way, but she dumped a whole lot of money on the family that she basically paid for the crime. Is how she resolved it.
Which is how, unfortunately, crimes are normally.
Yeah, give me a bunch
Resolved.
of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a football player who only served a month in prison after killing a person. He paid the family like $10 million. Yeah.
So it's not out of the. To me, I think Ridley brings a sense of reality, a calm reality to the fact of how people deal with these types of problems, and it's not a new problem at that. It's more like the lines of it's being introduced in Gotham, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. So overall, we'll go back to overall impressions. Would you recommend this as a read to people?
Yeah, it's a nice palate cleanse to what Bruce has been doing. It deals with aspects of the potential of what it could create or where it could go as a result of it, if they just took a little time to iron out the details of it.
The other difference is Bruce is getting this bigger and bigger family, and Jason's like, nope.
Nope. Yeah, he pushes everybody away, which I guess they're part of the problem growing up. So it's.
It seems like he's trying to save his sister, like, not letting her go down the same path that he went down. Just like he wants her to not fall in with their parents, like keep going down the rich path of and possibly being corrupted.
Yeah, but I don't get that same sense. I mean, it's in a conversation, but I don't feel like he's adamant towards it. It's just a matter of a difference of opinion as opposed to ensuring that she's not going to follow that path.
I'm interested to see what happens when Tim or when Jason, his brother. Realize who each other are.
Which makes no sense because they can actually help each other on different levels.
Well, I don't think they will, though.
Which is even sadder. Oh my God, it's so much sadder.
I think it's gonna be a Red Hood Batman type.
I just hope they'll make him a villain. I don't want Batwing to be a villain as a result of it. Like, be that adverse to what Jason's doing or the whole reluctant help thing.
Well, I'll throw out an alternative to you. What if Bruce comes back and that
coming back.
Well, he's coming back.
He's coming back.
But what I mean is, what if he realizes Bruce is Batman and he's like, oh, this 1% guy is, maybe he becomes a not a villain, but
No, he would be a villain in Bruce's eyes at that point. I don't know. It gives me vibes of old Green Arrow. Remember back in the day when he used to team up with Green Lantern, in which Green Arrow felt the need to fight with
a liberal conservative dichotomy
because
between the two of them.
He has the makings of it.
Because one was a military type guy, and the other one was
and basically that's what Bruce would become as a result of that. No, I would love to see that
dichotomy between
yeah.
them.
Oh, yeah. I think it just makes sense. But it's Bruce's tech, so it's not going to be a long fight. So, so I just hope it doesn't come to that. I hope he can just take off the suit and just beat his ass.
So I like several aspects of this. I like that they updated Ratcatcher to where he's like bringing in children now, like the forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
I like the family aspect of it. I feel like he's delving deep into that. To me, the superheroes need like this deeper personal life as well as like not just going out and beating up bad guys and stuff. Like,
but I will say this about the family. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, you're fine.
I just didn't enjoy how he had such a robust family, but it's like no one knew him. I get he left, but at the same token, at their core, no one understood him as a result of him leaving. I almost felt like it was the cousin that's introduced in the fourth season to save a show type situation, in which
I'll also say like it seems like his parents are still not fond of him. They're like,
No.
oh, you were off running, saving the world or
Yes.
whatever, doing whatever you were doing.
But they didn't take the time to see how much he's changed. I mean, how do you not check on your kid who you sent away? I mean, which is absurd. It almost bleeds into the fact of, no, you guys are pretty rotten. You need to step down from this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I hope to see.
Well, you understand his bitterness.
Oh no, it makes sense. You can't not see it. But I mean, but I just want to know his end game, because coming back into hell, so to speak, you're not going to change it from within.
Yeah.
So what is your plan? But no, I'm there for the ride. I didn't like it as much, only because I saw comparisons to Batman Beyond.
Well, I told you also that you may not have liked it because it was actually an internet first.
Yeah, online only.
Yeah.
That's probably why I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Again, DC has a terrible time promoting this.
Yeah. They should do a better job. Like I said, I think that there's a lot to like about this, and I feel like it's a good alternative to the Bat books out there. I know a lot of people were very hesitant at first. They're like, "Oh, this new character that came out of nowhere is taking it," because a lot of people thought it was going to be Batwing who was going to take over the mantle.
But I smell Batman Beyond again, because they said the same thing about Terry. Oh, he's a new guy. He shouldn't be allowed to take the mantle. Blah blah blah. It should have been Dick or Tim or God knows how many other replacements. But yet, however, I don't think it's about the heir apparent, but who's the best fit for the challenge, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I think he's a good fit though.
Okay.
All right. So you said you would recommend this for people to read though?
No, I definitely recommend it for people to read.
Okay.
It's just a nice contemporary story of what it would take to be a vigilante. And
What would you say if they would probably like this one? If they like a book already, which book would you compare it to?
ooh, that's hard.
I would go with White Knight again. Again, if you like that kind of.
Only the first
Yeah.
story, so
Yeah.
to speak, of what it introduces. But the only thing that comes to mind is what I mentioned earlier.
The
If you like,
Beyond.
like if you like Batman Beyond, this is a good thing, but it just broader details, more detailed strokes. Again, if you've seen Watchmen, certain elements of that bleed into it. And I won't say what, because I want people to watch Watchmen. But no, it's a nice contemporary take on vigilantism.
Yeah. So that's our review of this one. Hopefully you check it out. Like I said, if you're not checking it out, I think you're missing out. I think it's one of the top books out there right now.
Great potential.
So thank you for watching and have a good day.